Hello everybody, I'm DJ Phillips for JamPlay.com, and we're looking at the song December by Collective Soul today. It's a song from their self-titled album released in 1995. It was written by the singer and rhythm guitarist Ed Roland, who writes most of their material. Really, really big hit for the group. It's got 3 different guitar parts that we're going to look at. There's going to be 2 electrics and 1 acoustic, and they sort of interact with each other. So there's some cool chord progressions to go through and some cool little licks. So let's get started with the first electric guitar part. All right, with the first electric guitar part, we're going to start with the main lick that's going to go throughout most of the song. So you're going to really want to concentrate on this one to get it. So it's going to start with the G chord. It's kind of a G, no third. So you're starting 3rd fret on the lowest string, then muted, then 0, 0, 3, 3. That's going to be kind of our home base for a lot of this, so get really comfortable with that fingering. So and the next chord is going to be the same chord but over an F, so you can think of it as a G over F. So we move the bass note down to 1st fret on the lowest string, and then we're going to mute that A string again, then everything else is the same. We'll go through the right hand in just a second. And then we've got C add 9, which you're going to play without a third also. So stopping, we're muting the lowest string, and then on the 5th string, 3rd fret, muted, 0, 3, 3. So you can see these 2 fingers just kind of hang out on those top 2 strings. Then we're going to drop down to that same chord over a B flat. So same thing we did on the lower strings, but now on the A string. So 1st fret, muted, 0, 3, 3. On the last beat, we're going to move that up to a B, so it'll be a G over B. So the chord progression goes through those 5 chords. And once you're comfortable with them, you can start working on the right hand, which sounds like this. So we're going to go lowest string, then you're going to go up here to the open G string, and then 3rd fret on the 5th string, or on the 2nd string, back down, so up to the 1st string and the back down. So that's the hardest part, is getting that picking with your right hand right every time, because it stays the same. We're going to drop down to the G over F. Now to the C. Now it gets a little different on the B flat. And then we're going to go. So back and forth, B flat to an open G, then B to an open G. That's just our way of kind of getting around to that the chord happens a little faster. So all that together, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that repeats again. So that's the hardest part. So let's do it again up to tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for the intro, we're going to repeat that 2 times through. And then we get to the verse where it keeps continuing. So you're going to have to get really used to that lick, because that's a big portion of the song. And you're going to continue that. So the verse is 4 times through that total. And then we're going to move on to the chorus. Now the chorus gets a lot easier in this guitar part, because we kind of drop down to almost playing a bass guitar roll, because we drop down to single notes. So it's the same chord progression. So we're not really changing anything in terms of that, but we are changing how we play it when we just do this. So we're just kind of hitting those bass notes. So G, then F, then C, then B flat, B natural. So that's same thing. 3rd fret on the lowest string, 1st fret on the lowest string, 3rd fret on the 5th string, and 1st fret, and then 2. So let's just play that together. And you can kind of mess with the rhythm a little bit on this. He doesn't really, on the recording, it kind of stays the same every time. But if you wanted to add just a little bit of rhythmic difference in there, as long as you're in the pocket with the rest of the band or whoever you're playing with, it'll sound fine because you're just kind of emphasizing those bass notes. So let's do that together, and we can go ahead and go up to tempo on this one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. All right, so that's what we're doing the chorus. Now that first chorus is a half chorus, so that's it. You just go through it twice. And then we're going to move to what I'm calling the interlude, and that's where in the second guitar you have the, which we'll look at in a little bit. But in this guitar, we're just going to do the same bass notes, but we're going to play eighth notes. So it'll sound like. Okay, so just kind of adds a little bit of, kind of ups the energy just a little bit. So let's do that together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. And while you're doing that with the right hand, you want to do a palm mute. So just rest your palm lightly towards the bridge. And of course, the farther you come out with that palm mute, the more muted it's going to be. So you want to just kind of be right on the edge of it. We don't want it to be silent, but we also don't want it to be full ringing out. So you find your happy place there, and you'll find it. Okay, after that, we go and repeat the intro again, and then the verse, and it's just that main lick again. So we're back to that. So once again, your friend, that lick. And then we go through, we play another verse, and then the second chorus is twice as long. So we've got the same thing where we're playing just the bass notes. And then we're going to go to an interlude again, so we go to those eighth notes again. So the only thing that changes there is that the chorus is twice as long. So you go through it 4 times instead of just the 2. And then, yeah, we got our interlude. So your eighth notes. When we move on to the bridge, we're actually going to be silent for the first half of the bridge. So we've got 8 measures in there where we don't play anything. The other guitar is going to take that riff. And then we come in with a variation of those last 8 bars of the bridge. It's a variation of the main lick, and it sounds like this. So all we're doing is instead of playing a C on that third chord, we're going to play a G over E. So we go same, E there. Everything else is exactly the same, so that's the only thing that changes. And you can hear it does add a little bit of interest. The bass is playing that along with you. So let's do that together just so you can get used to it. By now, you've probably at least familiarized yourself with that main lick, or you're really good at it. So let's go ahead and do it up to tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. And then we're going to go back to what it's kind of a chorus, kind of there's some ostinato stuff happening on with the vocals that come in. So you can think of it like a chorus. It's going to be the length of a full chorus, those full 16 bars, and we're playing those bass notes. And this is a good time where anytime in there you hear all these other parts coming in, you can kind of vary and start adding those. On the recording, he just keeps going. So there's not much variation at all, but you could go ahead and add those eighth notes in like we did for the interludes. Because you'll hear, like, even on the backing track or in the original recording, you'll hear that other guitar coming in, you'll hear the strings, all kinds of stuff is going on. So if you want to kind of build that energy in a live setting, that's a good way to do it. It's just kind of play a little bit more intensely. that kind of stuff. But you can kind of use your discretion on that. And then we play that sort of continuing the bridge with a chorus-like thing, and then he actually comes in with a full chorus, or the band does, and so we've got another 16 bars there. So it's a long time playing through those progressions. Again, another reason to maybe vary it up just a little bit, just for your own sanity. And then when we get to the outro is the same as the intro, just our main lick, but we're going to do a ritardando at the end. So it'll sound like this. Hit a big G, no third on that. So everything's the same, you just slow down. You don't slow down until you get to the B flat, so the first fret on the 5th string there. Okay, so let's do that together, up to tempo. 2, 3, 4. And there's nothing else at the end there, so it's just you, it's your show at that point. So when you get really good at that lick, it'll be a good time to kind of display that.